interested in John McAfee, the famous computer virus person, evidently worldwide hacker, the best hacker in the world, who was evidently suicided while he was in the Bahamas in jail, on the run from deep state. He has a lot of evidence, evidently, to incriminate continents. And boy, do we know they have been up to no good. I shouldn't make light of it, but one has to some days, because it's so horrific what we're finding out that it's like, okay. So John McAfee opened this Telegram channel, maybe last week it was now, and has been dropping all these photographs and strange coded messages. Oh, if only I could understand them. I was really interested to see him referring to some Egyptian deities in the ones, I think it was this morning, could have been yesterday. And I'm just like, okay, is this, you know what it's like when you're searching for truth, and there's so many red herrings, there's so many false trails, there's so many hot trails that go cold, and you get a little bit fatigued in having hope, compassion fatigue. So I wanted to do a quick reading on John McAfee. Is it all for real? Is he actually alive? Did he not get suicided in the jail in the Bahamas? Was it the Bahamas? I think it was. Some nice place. What's going on here? Is he going to be the one that really drops all this information? Because the thing is, as we know, there's been so much information revealed and openly acknowledged, and then still nothing happens, because all of the people in charge who could actually do something about it, like the legal system, they just don't. They're all compromised. So I was like, okay, John McAfee, I am interested in him, and I have so much hope that he is going to just drop some stuff in the world that can't be ignored, must lead to justice, and it must lead to the masses really kind of seeing what's been going on in the world. Okay, that's just come out. So I'm using my Mythic Tarot deck today. I thought I'd have a little change. And okay, let's just go for it, because that came out as a significator, so we'll go for it. Okay, the first card that's come up is Daedalus, the Eight of Pentacles. Daedalus is on the case. He's working hard. He's been recognised and acknowledged as someone who knows his craft and his skill. There is bountiful hills behind him. He stands in a commanding posture, making what he does, making what he makes well, and the vines are fertile. It's a great card, the Eight of Pentacles. It's like, okay, things are happening, the expert is on hand, and he is actually making good with his skill. Things are fertile. Okay, what crosses the Eight of Pentacles? Oh, the Star. Oh, this is looking good. The Star, wishes, dreams come true. Everything out there. And we'll, actually, in this deck, this is quite funny, because in this Mythic Tarot deck, the Star, as great as it can be, see, one side is kind of dark and the other side is just lovely and bright with that kind of star, sun kind of shape, angel, god, goddess kind of thing. But in this, and the reflection on the floor of the brightness and the light and the good. But in this pack, this is Pandora's box being opened. And as we know, Pandora's box opened all hell from the depths of the earth, as well as some of the delights of the earth. And once you open Pandora's box, you cannot fit it all back in. So I think that's very pertinent, asking about John McAfee, because is he or is he not opening Pandora's box? Yes, oh my goodness, yes he is. He's really got some stuff on people that is irrefutable, evidently. Okay, what's the overarching John McAfee? Alive or dead? Well, he could still be working through people that he trusts, but the overarching, how bizarre. the hanged man, the lovely hanged man. This is Prometheus in this pack. Prometheus hangs upside down. He stole fire from the gods and was punished by being tied to a rock where his liver was pecked out every day, only to renew and regrow itself overnight. So he went through the whole torture all over again, day after day after day. But the message in this deck with Prometheus is he's kind of resigned to it. It's the sacrifice he's had to make for stealing fire from the gods, and he basically he lies in that rock with that torture for 10 years, and then finally the gods take pity on him and set him free. This is a card of self-sacrifice, so it's quite interesting regarding what has McAfee sacrificed. Well, you know, I saw a little clip yesterday, I don't know if it's old or new, who knows, and surrounded by 5 armed guards, you know, just walking from the car to somewhere. And it's, I suppose the sacrifice is you never ever can sleep soundly. You always are wondering who's on your tail, who's after you, who's betraying you. So I think the Hanged Man, also again the Hanged Man being a process in stasis, freeze frame, on hold. And I know that the McAfee's been quite a tease, but and there has been all this coded stuff come out. But when it floods mainstream media, why hasn't anyone hacked the mainstream media? I'm fascinated. Surely with this this emergency broadcast system, some brilliant hacker could just go, zzz, you know. And while CNN and Fox and the BBC and everyone else is they're pouring out their drivel and their lies and their false narrative, someone could just hack it and go, look, this is the truth, here's the figures, here's that, here's whatever, you know. So, hey, what's at the root of this John McAfee question that I'm asking for myself, for my own interest? Oh, the Empress. Oh, how lovely. Things are indeed fertile. Things are growing. They are rich, abundant. The information is abundant. The mounds behind it, the flowing water, everything is flowing and growing, and everything is ripe for the picking. I think that's a good sign. What's in the past of this John McAfee question? Oh, the Page of Cups. Well, I can understand that with McAfee. He is a bit of a narcissist, isn't he? But this pack, Narcissus has never seen himself because everyone falls in love with him, and basically his mother stopped him seeing his own reflection, and then one day after an arduous walk he stops to have a drink and suddenly catches sight of himself and stares at himself for days, and eventually is driven mad and he kills himself. And the blood of his spilling is where the Narcissus flower comes up. But it's not about narcissism, really, the Page of Cups. It's young, it's naive, and it's about self-love. This is about loving the self and nurturing the self and coming to terms with self-love and the dangers of over-focusing, over-analysing and obsessing about something. I think that could be true for him. You know, he's a, who knows what, multi-billionaire with his own islands. I mean, I've seen photos with him with Epstein, and people say, well, he was always gathering information and he was always way ahead of people. He's a very intelligent guy, super clever. So maybe he was a bit indulgent in the past. Well, we know he was. But maybe this drive of self-love led him to do something honourable with this information and to hold the world to ransom, which is actually what he seems to do. What's in the future? Let's have a look with my lovely Celtic cross. Oh, look at that, the Ace of Swords. Athene, the goddess, the warrior goddess, with her wielding super large sword in battle stance, the uprush of mental energy, the element of air, thought, communications, slashing through all the rubbish, okay, the Ace of Swords. There's so much potential with this card and what he's bringing there. I read somewhere there was 3.1 terabytes of information being flooded into various systems which could not be erased. They will always be there for all to see, which is even more exciting. So the Ace of Swords, it's got to come out, hasn't it? It's got to be real. It's got to come out. I'm still not sure if he's alive or dead, and if it's his friends doing this for him, or it's him. So let's see. But I get a feeling it is him. I really do. The Ace of Swords, that's great in the future. Wow, is that going to come forward? The divine, like, tsunami of air, like the tornado of information coming. This, like, unstoppable storm, you know, just like incoming information. And you can see on the card at the back there, the storm is gathering, the clouds, like I say, the tsunami of air. And air is information and intellect and thought and ideas. So yes, where does he find himself? Okay, maybe this will be the Death card. Still doesn't mean death. Maybe it could be the Ten of Swords card. Who knows? Let's have a look, shall we? So where does he find himself? Evidently, oh, the Six of Cups. What doesn't that make sense? Here we have Psyche sitting on a rock with her wedding bouquet. She married Eros before she'd seen him, and then she betrayed his trust and had a peek at him while he was sleeping, which she'd promised not to do, ever to look on his face because he was a god, and she did because she was led by gossip, and she lost him. So the Six of Cups, actually, even though that sounds like a bit of a sad story, she gets him back. If you don't know the myth, she gets him back, so it's okay. The Six of Cups is about nostalgia. So where does he find himself? Nostalgia, thinking about things in the past that can drive him forward, with a positive intent, something that will, this is a card that it's about thinking, because what's happening is she's sitting on this rock thinking about what's happened, thinking about her marriage to Eros, thinking about what went wrong and whatever, but therefore she's also thinking about how can she make it right. And I think with McAfee, he really is trying to make things right. Maybe I'm deluded, but, you know, hey, I've spent decades following various conspiracy theories, which are now conspiracy facts. And yes, that's a very interesting card. The past, reflecting and building a plan for the future to put things right. Card of nostalgia that can help the future path. Okay, how do others look upon him? What have we got here? Oh, the Three of Pentacles. Okay, well that's a bit tame for what he is. The Three of Pentacles, you know, someone who other people go to for guidance, and they want to learn from him. They want to have what he has. They trust him. They see what he's achieved, and other people looking in go, okay, he's the man to go to. He's the guy to go to. Look what he's built for himself. Look at his richness and his wealth. He's got this completion of these ideas. He had an idea, he worked, and he's now got to the initial stages of completion. And people are already recognizing what he can offer, and they want to offer him money for what he does. And they also want, I always get with this, like they want his knowledge, his expertise. So that's quite nice. Hopes and fears. Okay, let's have a look. What do hopes and fears bring this time? Oh, another ace. Oh, the Ace of Pentacles. Sorry, the sun is in that. Interesting. Okay. Ace of Pentacles, hopes and fears. Well, there's another uprush of earth. Now that's quite interesting, regarding on what's going on the earth. The floods, the fires, what are those things, the sinkholes that just suddenly open up, and I've seen horrible footage of people being, just looking into a sinkhole and then the ground collapses and they go in. So the Ace of Pentacles, let me see, is a hope and a fear. I would say that was our hope. Again, another uprush, the energy of earth, bringing something tangible. Like I was saying at the beginning, make it tangible, make it real, I know I see little streams happening, but something big, a big tangible evidence that people cannot deny, like someone hacking the mainstream media. And just something coming of it, you know, that you can again put your hand on it and go, yes, here it is at last. All these people that are ignoring the law, all these people that are just off, you know, just out of control and in chaos, all these people following the global script rolled out by those the people who are the minions of demons. You know, let's have something tangible from McAfee that we shove at people and go, there. I remember having a conversation with someone a while back about some of the stuff that is coming out about what's been happening to children, and I'm not going to say it. If you know, you know, and it's the most horrific thing. You know, got to send healing and who knows what to those souls that were involved in that, victims of that. And I remember telling someone, why have you read this stuff? And they just wouldn't believe it, couldn't believe it, would not have, it's like, that's absolute rubbish. It's absolute fake news, okay? And I remember thinking of, you know, they were saying, oh, where's the photographs? And I said to them, what, you want to see photographs of what I've just told you? You want to see photographs of that? That's the only way you'll believe it, when you see a photograph. And I thought that was quite horrific for all the kids that have gone through the most heinous, depraved, disgraceful, disgusting things. And someone wants to see a photograph to go, oh, Ace of Pentacles, there's your photograph, you vile creature, that's the only way you'll ever believe. So, okay, what's the outcome? The outcome of my personal question on John McAfee is, oh, here we have this again, how bizarre, the Six of Swords. Wow, I was talking about that yesterday. Look at that lovely picture. Him in his purple cloak, moving out of those stormy waters towards new lands. Now, when I did the reading the other day, the Six of Swords, and I was talking about the swords are always in front of people. And, you know, whatever you've accrued in your life, whether it is joyfulness and acceptance and tolerance, and you've done your inner work, you take it all with you. If you've lived in denial and pain, and you've made things difficult and blamed everyone else, you take that with you. Whatever you've developed in your life, you take it with you. Okay, so there's the Six of Swords. But today I'm looking at it and I think, okay, I'm asking about John McAfee, and is it all true what he's doing? So the stormy waters, moving towards new lands. And what I actually like about this is you know, you have this, look at his posture. In the Rider-Waite, you have a man and a woman and a child in the boat with their swords in front of them. And they all look a bit kind of exhausted. And you know, it's like, moving away from a difficult phase into a new phase. When you see this young buck, he doesn't look like he's, you know, he just looks like embracing it. Come on, bring it on. Bring on the newness. Bring on the new land. Bring on the new experience. I'm done with the past. I have my purple cloak. He looks all very confident and really ready to embrace. So the Six of Swords as the outcome, and I think that's pretty conclusive. So moving away from an old phase, moving forward, moving out of stormy waters, moving to calmness, a new beginning, a kind of new beginning can, as I often say, be the sign of travelling. Maybe McAfee is travelling from location to location. I know he gave a location the other day and I thought that was very improbable. Why would he tell anyone where he was? But then of course he probably wasn't, because it's all spy, double spy, triple agents. It's like a real James Bond. And I'm going to do a Pandora. Okay, what might be the trickster here? What might I be unconsciously overlooking? Or, as I tell you what happened when I started to join, ask my spiritual entourage to connect with his spiritual entourage. It was like all these booby traps all along the way, and a lot of very unsavoury energies trying to access the energy along the cosmic highways to McAfee. It was very interesting. I immediately came back and just protected myself and sent some super light around it all. And yes, it was very interesting. That made me think that he must be alive, because the energies around that were just like, oh, that is unpleasant. Poor guy. Maybe he's atoning for some karma. Who knows? He does. Okay, what have we got come here? Okay, let me get it out for you. Oh, that's a great card, isn't it? Look at that. Defiance. So where John McAfee is concerned, we're looking at defiance. Yes, indeed. Aren't we just looking at defiance? Good for him. John McAfee, defy away. Be that brilliant warrior that the world needs. And there are so many of them coming forward, aren't there? You look at Project Veritas and all the fantastic people that are just speaking the truth. I like to watch Stu Peters and not get too much information from lots of different people, because it, you know, taking in all the energy from other people. I'm now thinking of the angel cards from McAfee. What guidance does he truly have from an angelic point of view? Let's have a look. What guidance does John McAfee have coming his way? Okay, seems to be that one. Oh, well, that's interesting. Flexibility. I'm sure he has to be very flexible with half of the intelligence agencies, who are all psychopaths as far as I'm concerned, on the heel. When you see how the CIA they've just got their own agenda, haven't they? They just make it up as they go along, like most governments. When the minions of demons come down and say, oh no, you must do this, and now you must do that, and now you must tell them this, and you know, we must make sure the mainstream media completely keep with the misinformation and never ever show two sides of the story. Do not make it possible for people to start making their own minds up by giving them both sides of the story. No. So that's it. That's the reading on McAfee. I would say he is alive, he's on it, and it's true. He is actually out there, and he's bringing some fantastic information that could have huge effects, especially with that Ace of Swords. Would have been interesting if the Tower had have appeared. I wouldn't have been surprised at that. Just bringing everything down, the whole edifices of the world down. But that's great. For me personally, it's like, yes, he's doing it. Yes, he's on it. You know, yes, you could be seeing something tangible very soon, and good stuff.